Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gratitude Tuesday. My name is Raina. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Today, we're going to be talking about what gratitude is and why it is so important. This article comes from positivepsychology.com, and it starts by saying, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. I like this because all things includes the big things and the little things. So we can all look at, the bigger picture of, what we have, but sometimes we have a hard time looking at the small things, such as, a roof over our head or a warm shower. So it's good to, include all things in your gratitude. So that was a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it offers a helpful introduction to what practicing gratitude can look like. In this article, we begin there and explore the current psychological research behind this value. Gratitude is an emotion similar to appreciation, and positive psychology research has found neurological reasons why so many people can benefit from this gentle practice of expressing thanks for our lives, even in times of challenge and change. I think in times of challenge and change, finding gratitude is more important than, when things are going great, because it can help bring us out of, that negativity. So before we continue, we thought you might we're going to skip over that part. So we're going to talk about what is gratitude and the 10 definitions of gratitude. So start with the basics. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, gratitude is simply the state of being grateful. Harvard Medical School provides more detail, writing, it is a thankful appreciation for what an individual receives, whether tangible or intangible. With gratitude, people acknowledge the goodness in their lives. As a result, gratitude also helps people connect to something larger than themselves as individuals, whether to other people, nature, or a higher power. I like this one, I think, the best because it talks about the tangible and the intangible. So, when we're given a gift or someone does something for us, it's very easy to see what it is we're grateful for. Hold it in our hand. This is what I'm grateful for. But the intangible things are the things that, are in your life or that someone has done for you that is more about an act of kindness rather than something physical that you can see or, touch. So this could be just someone giving you moral support for something, or someone just, being there for you, being thoughtful. Those are the things that are intangible. And I think it's a good practice to get into thanking people and being grateful, just having them in your life, because that will also help strengthen relationships. So this provides a more helpful context, leading us into the next definition from psychiatry researchers who define gratitude as the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself and represents a general state of thankfulness and or appreciation. So some of the meaningfulness to oneself, because what I might be grateful for, someone else may not. They either may not have that in their life, or they have something different. So gratitude can look like a lot of different things to different people, depending on, where you are in life. And, more importantly, where you are in recovery. In the beginning, you just might be thankful for not using drugs. And as time goes on, that gratitude can expand into different things. You can start saying, okay, I'm grateful, my family is back in my life. I am grateful that I have a job. So it's an ongoing, process, and it's very different for everyone. Researchers also offer this definition: an emotion that is typically evoked when one receives costly, unexpected, and intentionally rendered benefits, and is thought to play a key role in regulating the initiation and maintenance of social relationships. So like I said, gratitude can go a long way in building like valuable relationships. Letting someone know that you are thankful for them, or, doing something for someone in return when it's not expected of you. Because and I like the unexpected things. And those sometimes are the best things, the things that you don't expect someone to do or you don't expect to happen. Like I feel like those types of things really go a long way in strengthening relationships, because it shows the thoughtfulness of the people in your life. And the same as when you're doing it for them, to have that thoughtfulness in someone, I think can go a really long way. And it could be simple things, I know someone recently that lost their mother, and I just reached out, sent a little text. I'm thinking of you. You know what I mean? If you need anything. And I know when I receive, texts like that, it means a lot to me. So in return, I try and do that for other people as well. So another simple definition of gratitude that comes from psychology research is a social emotion that signals our recognition of the things others have done for us. Again, it's about those tangible and intangible things that people do for us. This definition is important because it brings a social element into the definition of gratitude. The social aspect of gratitude from this theologian says, if we acquire a good through exchange, effort, or achievement, or by right, then we don't typically feel gratitude. Gratitude is an emotion we feel in response to receiving something good which is undeserved. So this focuses more on the things that we're not used to receiving or that we're not used to having in our life, right? If we receive something because of an achievement, or, like I go to work, I get a paycheck. That's what happens. It's the unexpected things that go the long way. And I know, like for us here, we have a wellness day to, promote the wellness for the employees. That's the type of thing that they're referring to. So it's something extra or something unexpected that when I get paid, I expect, or when I work, I expect to get a paycheck. But the bigger part of that is having that wellness day and being shown that, I'm appreciated. So another definition emphasizing its social aspect comes from social psychology researchers who claim that gratitude is a positively balanced emotion that can arise when another person, a benefactor, does something kind for the self. So that's a nice one, doing something kind for yourself. Because I think sometimes we forget about that. We get so caught up in life that we don't take time to sit with ourselves or do something good for ourselves. And that wellness is really important, to keep a positive vibe going for yourself. You need to take time for yourself and be grateful for you, how far you've come and everything that you have achieved. One morality-based psychologist writes, gratitude is not goods delivered in response to payment. It is a response to a gift. Gratitude as a response to a gift is also a form of generosity, of graciously crediting the other for something that was not strictly owed. So again, that would be, receiving a gift from someone, or, just something that you weren't expecting, and to be gracious for that. To understand further, Robert Emmons offers this psychological research definition on the topic that gratitude has been conceptualized as an emotion, a virtue, a moral sentiment, a motive, a coping response, a skill, and an attitude. It is all of these and more. Minimally, gratitude is an emotional response to a gift. It is the appreciation felt after one has been the beneficiary of an altruistic act. So that talks about a lot, you know what I mean? It's seen as an emotion. And typically, I don't think people look at gratitude as an emotion, but it is. When you are grateful and you have like this sense of gratitude in your life, it's like, it's a feeling. It's just a good feeling to have. It's a virtue and a moral sentiment. Being grateful and showing appreciation, a motive, a coping response, a skill, and an attitude. It's just so all encompassing. And, a lot of researchers have found that having that, all around, like conception of gratitude really goes to help like mental health and emotional health and just a lot of other benefits. Emmons explains gratitude deeper in another paper that says gratitude has a dual meaning, a worldly one and a transcendent one. In its worldly sense, gratitude is a feeling that occurs in interpersonal exchanges when one person acknowledges receiving a valuable benefit from another, right? Very basic. I do something for someone, they thank me. They do something for me, I thank them. That's just like the basic act of gratitude. But gratitude is a cognitive affective state that is typically associated with a perception that one has received a personal benefit that was not intentionally sought after, deserved, or earned, but rather because the good intentions of another person. And we talked about that. You know what I mean? It might not be something that you were looking for or that you felt you were owed. It's something rather that, you received from someone else that wants to do good for you. And I have found that in recovery, being around the right people, you will start to see how other people in recovery, how gracious they can be and how helpful that they can be. And you start to feel this sense of gratitude and it expands, like I'm in a 12-step fellowship. So when, I'm down, I have any number of people around me who will give me a hug just to like say, oh, it's okay, I'm here for you. And it's those types of like acts in recovery that I feel go such a far, such a long way, because we come in so broken and desperate and, just not in the right state of mind. And being around people that have been through what you have been through and can come up to you and just, hug you or tell you what's going to be okay, they don't even know you, is such a powerful thing. And it's really great to have that in recovery. So I recommend finding your people and you will start to experience like everything that we're talking about here. We hope that these definitions of gratitude provide a psychological, social, and religious context for this positive emotion. Whether you agree with all the definitions or identify with one, we are now equipped to delve into its greater role in our health and daily lives. In summary, gratitude is a positive emotion felt after being the beneficiary of some sort of gift. It is also a social emotion often directed towards a person, the giver of the gift, or felt towards a higher power. That's a big one. Being grateful for a power greater than yourself is something that, it takes practice if you're not used to doing it. And I know, like for myself, when I came into recovery, I didn't have a higher power. I didn't, pray to anything or, have this feeling of something greater than myself. And as I started to develop that, it became easier to, move forward in my recovery and find the positive things in my life. So we are going to talk next about the 2 stages of gratitude. According to Dr. Robert Emmons, the feeling of gratitude involves 2 stages. The first one comes the acknowledgement of goodness in one's life. In a state of gratitude, we say yes to life. We affirm that all in all, life is good and has elements that make worth living and rich in texture. The acknowledgement that we have received something gratifies us, both by its presence and by the effort the giver put into choosing it. I like that we say yes to life. Like, I really love that. At the end of my run, I got to a point where I didn't care if I lived or died. I just knew that the life I was living, I couldn't continue to live it. But, you know, coming into recovery, it just like made sense to see like, okay, like my life is worth living. Like I have something to offer. And, you know, practicing gratitude, like really goes a long way in seeing the value of your life and others. The second one is that gratitude is recognizing that some of the sources of this goodness lie outside the self. One can be grateful to other people, to animals, and to the world, but not to oneself. At this stage, we recognize the goodness in our lives and who to thank for it, who made sacrifices that we could be happy. And I'm sure that, you know, we all know someone in our lives that, you know, made sacrifices or, you know, put us first, or, you know, people that were hurt during, you know, our active use. I know, like for me, like my mom, like she just never gave up on me. You know, I put her through so much worry and stress, and it really played a toll in her life. And to know that, like, to see it now, I can see just how important the fact that she stuck by me really was in me getting clean and being in recovery. And so it's really great to look, you know, within and without for that source of, you know, goodness and positivity and everything that leads us to a more grateful state. So what is the purpose? People can use gratitude to form new social relations or to strengthen current ones. Acts of gratitude can be used to apologize, make amends, and help solve other problems. That's a big one, being in recovery. We do so much harm in our active addiction that we probably didn't realize we were causing, because we're so focused on self. You know, when we're using, it's all about me, 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 me. And we don't either acknowledge or may not see at the time the damage that we are doing to the people around us. Then not just to the people like in our immediate lives, but to, you know, stores that we're stealing from, or you know what I mean, just places that we're going and causing chaos. It's just a lot when we come in, and to be able to apologize for the things that we did, make amends for the things that we did, you know what I mean? And then see if we can create something that renews the relationship and hopefully strengthens the relationship. I know for me, when I got to the point of making an amends, it was difficult. You know, I could say on a day-to-day basis, like, oh, thank you so much for being there for me. You know, I couldn't have done this without you. I'm sorry for this. I want to try and do better. But to make that, you know, that strict amends directly to someone, it can be very frightening. And it's different for everybody that is, you know, doing the amends, but also to everybody you're making an amends to. Some people might not want to hear it. And you have to be okay with that, but you know that you have, you know, done that and made the effort to do better. And then there are other people that are going to accept it. You know, I had a couple people that I started to say something and they're like, you don't have to, it's okay. You know, you just being here, you doing better is all I need. And it's such a wonderful feeling, you know what I mean? That someone sees you doing well and is there to support you regardless of what had happened in the past. Alternatively, people may feel gracious because it can be an intrinsically rewarding process. Simply being grateful for being alive is a great way to motivate oneself to seize the day. Yep, I am just grateful I wake up every morning. And that's a great way to start the day. So last thing we're going to talk about is why gratitude works. Gratitude is a selfless act. Its acts are done unconditionally to show to other people that they are appreciated. A gift that is freely given is one way to understand what these acts are like. Unconditionally is the key word right there. Because if we're doing it to get something back, we're losing the genuine the genuine part of what we're doing. To be able to just do it with no motive, no expectation, just unconditionally from the bottom of our heart is what makes the act worth it. And in return, like when someone does that, if I need help with something and someone offers their help, my first thought will be like, all right, well, what do you want? How much is it going to cost me? What do I need to do? But I've learned in recovery and having the strong support system that I have that people just want to help. There is no ulterior motive. And that's how we have to grow to be with other people. For example, if someone is sad and you write them a note of appreciation, you're likely not asking for something in return for this person. Instead, you're reminding them of their value and expressing gratitude for their existence. At the moment, you're not waiting for a return note from this person. If you can't do it just to do it, then it takes away the genuine act of it. So, and listen, I get these little notes sometimes from my boyfriend in the morning. I have little sticky notes stuck to my makeup mirror or whatever the case may be. And it's just because he felt like doing it. It's not because he needs anything in return or I need to leave him a note, whatever it may be. It's just nice to wake up and see something like that sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, start my morning on a great note. And doing those things for people in your life, it goes a long way. I know some people that are in my recovery support group will send out a morning text, whether it be from, one of the literature, or if it's just a, hey, good morning, was thinking about you, hope you have a great day. Those little things can be make such a huge impact. Even when we do not expect a return, sometimes they happen. Gratitude can be contagious in a good way. In the previous example, maybe when you are down, this person will write you a note too. And it's true. Gratitude can be very contagious. It's like, if we put out negativity, we're just going to spread that all around and it's all we're going to get back. But when we put out positive vibes and, that sense of gratitude and those acts of gratitude, it does the same thing. It ripples out and it makes such an impact in your life and in other people's lives. So I want to thank you for joining us today. As always, you're welcome to come into the center and join our groups in person or just come in and chat with us. We would love to have you. And I will see you next time.